And we're back with another episode of the Diamond Download. We are doing this episode by the side of a river. We switched up the technology. We're coming into 2025 now. Figured it's time to maybe switch to Riverside instead of Zoom. How you doing, Chase?
Damn, bro, we gotta get them to sponsor that without plug. This is not sponsored, but it should be sponsored. I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
They will give us money. I'm manifesting it. They will give us money. You know what's
Heck
so
yeah.
funny, bro? And maybe people don't need to know this, but I'm going to tell them. You were on the free plan of Zoom. You are worth God knows how many thousands of billions of dollars. The free plan on Zoom. So like we have to keep these episodes short because we usually do a little just like shooting the breeze after and like we have a 40-minute maximum. So if we start talking after that, I guess the conversation just finished.
Yeah, so many times it just hangs up and like texting you, sorry, dude, it wasn't me. It was the Zoom free plan. But hopefully this is unlimited. We'll see.
I think it is. I mean, you pay for this, right?
Yeah, I just paid $19, so hopefully they give me like an hour.
All right, let's jump right into it, bro. So my first topic here has to do with something that is very real in my life right now. I am paying taxes. Paying a lot of tax. Paying less tax than I thought I was going to pay. I swear to God, I thought I was going to pay like 800 grand in 2023. Apparently not. So I'm happy because I saved for this. I prepared for this. So I'm happy right now. However, I was talking to my accountant. He's a cool guy. And you know, he didn't really give me any tips, or maybe he did, but I wasn't paying attention because, like, to be honest, I do not think about saving money on taxes ever. There's all these people that are like, oh, just take your savings, put it in a Roth IRA with a 401k, and then just like dividend it and then pay it. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I don't want to do any of that. I just want to have my cash in the bank. If there's something I can do to save money on taxes, then I'll do that. But like, I wanted to ask you because you've been paying taxes for longer than I have. What do you have any like tax tips that are like kind of like easy, low hanging stuff that like most people might not know?
No, I wish I had a silver bullet. A couple things, because like again, we're early in this year. Last year paid a bunch of taxes. Just paid estimates for Q4 a few weeks ago. I think a couple things. One is like every year, the year just goes by, and I'm like, dang it, I forgot to do tax prep. I forgot. So don't wait till the last minute. That's step number one. Is think about it now. Think about it earlier in the year. Number two, what's been helpful for me is paying quarterly taxes, paying estimates. That way, it's not like one huge lump sum at the end of the year. Before, whenever I would do that, I would just have like a heart attack every year when I saw how much was going out. So like mentally, it's a little bit easier just to pay them quarterly. The next one would be like find an accountant that actually knows and gets what you do. And that's kind of hard to do because you want to find this balance between someone that has experience and has been doing it for long enough, but not someone that's so old like our parents that has no clue what we do, right? So you need to find someone that has maybe a minimum of 5 years, upwards of like 15 years of experience. Maybe they're in their late 30s, maybe mid 40s, and they understand what you do. So if you find someone that your friends are working that are in your industry, that's so important. Dude, I got a text or an email recently from my accountant that is going to be my past accountant. I've gone through accountants like nobody's business. Started with my parents, and then I used my grandparents, and I'm just like, these people are too old, they don't get it. My accountant literally messaged me a couple months ago saying, hey Chase, now that we've been working together for a few years, I realize you're not just some guy that works from home in his house or his garage. You actually run a legit business and big business. Why don't we hop on a call in a few weeks once we get your taxes filed and figure out how we can save and plan better? I'm like, lady, we've been doing this for 2 or 3 years and you're just now figuring this out and just now trying to find out what I do. Like, goodbye. So,
what an ick, bro.
so bad.
This is a Drake song. I don't know if you know this. This is an oldie, but the lyrics basically go, "You ain't really fucking me way back then, but how about now? Because I'm up right now, and you suck right now." That's the lyrics to the song, and that's what that makes me think of. Where it's like, "Oh, now you think I'm a big business owner and you want to work with me? I bet you do. Bye,
Great.
bye."
Yeah.
Dude,
Too little, too late.
You probably have an account. Do you have an accountant right now? Like, do you have a good
I'm
one?
on the market. I'm afraid to say that on air
Dude,
because I might get a bunch of DMs, but I'm
nobody
looking
pitched
for
Chase. Nobody pitched Chase. I have your guy.
Okay.
He already saved you money because of 2022 copy MBAs. We don't have to air this out, but I'm just saying because it might be interesting. Um, he already saved you like 20 grand on taxes you would have had to pay for copy MBA because I don't think we paid.
Yeah.
But so he's got you, and he knows who you are, and he has your social security number. So I'm gonna I'm just gonna intro you. I'm just gonna
Cool.
intro you, and honestly, anybody else who's watching this and you make over like I want to say like 300K a year, otherwise it's not really worth for him. But he's a savage.
Amazing.
This guy has like, swear to God, 80,000 rounds of ammo in his basement. If that's the kind of accountant you need. He's got I don't
Wow.
know how many firearms, but like he is not anti-government. He's tastefully anti-government. He will
Yeah.
do what the IRS tells him to do, but every other thing, every other rule is bent a little bit. So he's the best. I'll tell you off air who he is.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, and on that note, right, like you need to find someone that's ethical like this guy, but knows where the line is and gets close to the line, but doesn't cross it, right? I've had friends that have crossed it. The one person, the one entity you don't want to mess with is the IRS. You want to do everything you can within legal means and within reason to obviously save money on taxes, but you don't want to screw with the IRS. So that sounds great. The other thing that I've been thinking about and looking into is like trying to leverage real estate as like a depreciating asset to write off taxes. That's something that I'm trying to do more of this year. I'd probably be more generous and donate more to charity, have those write off. So just really trying to rack off the right write offs and really make sure that you save, because it's easy just to make more. But dude, if you have someone that's like looking over your shoulder that is amazing and they're the ones focusing on saving you money, dude, if you make a couple $100,000 more, a couple $1 million more a month, and then they also save you that, bro, you're like doubling up. I don't want to have to move to Puerto Rico, but if they could do this, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I would rather. I do not want to live in Puerto Rico. I don't care how rich I get. I'm staying in Florida. I'm not in Florida
Yeah,
right now. I will be in Florida, and I'm staying there, bro. God bless
heck
the
yeah.
United States of America. Let's just get that on record. I can't wait to be an American.
Yeah, send this in with your file.
Exactly.
And then
For
also
anybody,
too, like,
for anybody who is curious why this is all happening, I'm trying to get a visa right now, and I'm so close. And so, if anybody asks, Joe Biden, I voted greatest president ever. Hillary Clinton should have won in 2016, and Mark Zuckerberg, greatest entrepreneur on the planet.
he's probably listening. Zuckerberg's probably listening. I think the other thing too that like a lot of people do is like they buy cards at the end of the year that are over a certain weight. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna start thinking about getting better help to be more smart, I guess. Make better decisions and not cheapen out. I just went with people that my parents had and my family had, and that didn't really work. And now it's like, however much you spend on an accountant, if you find a really good one, they're gonna save you like 5 times, 100 times, whatever it is. So your ROAS on a good accountant is like unlimited.
I agree. I agree. It just feels good. It just feels good to
Yes,
have someone taking care of you. You know?
100%.
Yeah. So if you have daddy issues, I'll intro you to my accountant. Um, okay. Next one, Chase.
Let's do it.
Okay. If you could partner with any entrepreneur, anybody, to
Okay.
build something, what would it be? And this could be literally anyone. It doesn't have to be anyone in our space. Any entrepreneur in the world, who would you partner with and what would you build?
That's interesting. Do you have one? I'm thinking through that right now. Do you have one in mind?
No, I was actually going to wait until you had one.
Okay, so we could build anything you want. Dude, it's interesting. Right now, obviously not right now, but for a while, I've just been so in love with businesses that have high leverage, great margins, and you don't have to really work that hard. So it's like I would probably find like the largest social media influencer that actually has influence and try to build something with them. Why would they want to build something with me? I don't know. But I would probably want to find like a Tony Robbins, or maybe not a Tony Robbins, but someone that has like huge influence on social that's probably under monetizing the attention, and just try to find the right products, services, newsletters, etc., just to build like a huge conglomerate. So I don't know exactly who that person would be, but someone with huge influence, huge email lists, and we just then go find a bunch of companies, whether it's software companies, physical products, etc., just to go white label and brand under this new entity and just try to run it up. So I'm really interested in that type of stuff, like things that I know, things that are interesting to me. Like, right, I have like 100,000 something people in my newsletter now. Could you imagine if it was 10 million or like 50 million? Like, can I find those people and go do something with them? I don't know why they would work with me, but like, that's what I would want to do.
Flavio is drooling right now thinking about being able to charge you $2 million a day for
Yeah, well,
speed.
good thing I'm using SendLane, right? SendLane's gonna be way more cost effective for
Oh,
that
you're on
list.
something now?
Yeah. Well, I'm moving everything to Sendlane. Yeah. I have an account there that I send from, but I'm moving everything over like officially next month.
Oh, fire. All right, cool. Do you have a discount code that anyone can use at checkout? Code Chase Down.
I don't have a discount code to hand out, but if anyone wants one, hit me up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I listen, dude. Like honestly, like, the first thing that kind of came to my mind is like, I would love to like see what it looks like to build an agency with like a vet like you or Nick or like even your other partners that like
Yeah.
aren't public. Um, like I think like I I think I like the agency model. I think that they're cool. They're not like the greatest margins ever, especially if you got like even more than two partners.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think it would be cool just to sort of like watch how that's built out. Like, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, dude, I still admire like what you did as structure. Like, I remember like being number 12, employee number 12, and then watching it just
Crazy.
sort of spider web over the next year where it's just like all of a sudden there's like 75 people on our all hands call. It's like, first of all, it's mad inconvenient. Like now it's a 2 hour call about the weekend. But like, but it is still cool to see how that sort of evolved. And I think like doing some sort of service where it's just like super tight, just high quality service, like with, an agency vet, like build something boutique with someone who's maybe built something mass market would be cool just because like there's a lot of agency guys like that, like the Snow guys, for example, like Snow Brothers. I met them. I met both of them. They're super cool guys. Like Snow guys, or you guys, or Homesteader, all the sort of like the big D2C agencies. Like I'm sure you guys probably miss a little bit like when you were a little bit more boutique, where it's like core team members and just like your favorite 25 clients, where it's just like you just nail everything for everyone. I feel like I don't know. I would like to be in that environment with someone who really knows what they're doing.
That's interesting. Two things actually came to mind as you're talking about that. I think another really cool thing would be like I just love connecting people. I love talking to people. I love connecting people. It would be such a cool thing. Again, I don't know why they'd want to do anything with me, but trying to find like the most connected person in like Hollywood or in sports, whether that's like a sports, I don't know, agent, or whether that's like some Hollywood big shot manager, and then just being able to like connect people for like huge deals, whether it's like X, Y, and Z 9-figure brand, being the middle person connecting them with like, big time A-list celebrity, right? And trying to take like a spread on anything that comes through. Like, maybe they got, let's say, Taylor Swift. I don't think they ever could or would, but maybe Taylor Swift promoted them and it made them 9 figures. It's like, can I take like 5 or 10% of the revenue on a deal like that and just be able to meet like all these cool people and then start podcasts and interview them? So I don't know. There's something like really cool around like connecting like the who's of different worlds that don't typically connect, right? Trying to bring, athletes into partnerships, whether it's investment or just the face up with brands. Obviously, some of that happens, but on a really small scale, and you really have to know the right people. I think that would be really, really cool. And then kind of a pivot of what I initially said. Maybe because I don't think it's realistic for me to find someone that has 50 million email subs that would want to partner with me. Finding kind of the right group of investors or other personalities that want to build like a fund, and let's just go buy like the 10 biggest meme pages on Instagram, and let's go buy like the 5 biggest newsletters that aren't tied to someone's face. Let's go buy, the 10 largest LinkedIn accounts. I think that would be really cool too, is like almost starting like a fund, having someone do like the money side, and then having someone on like the scouting side of going to find all the owners of like these pages that are actually legitimate and just buying them all up, and then just doing what I said before of building products and services and offerings around the audiences of those. So I think that would be really cool as well.
Interesting. You think that why do you think that like a fund for I guess content like that doesn't really exist? Like is there a conglomerate of like meme pages or newsletters or anything like that?
I think there's takes of it. Like I don't know the exact story behind like Jerry Media, but they are the ones that obviously owned like the Fuck Jerry and a bunch of the meme pages. I don't know if they just like bootstrapped the almost kind of like the pages and the agency, for lack of a better word, and then they just built them or just bought them. I don't know if they took a model kind of like Andrew Wilkinson did, right? Well, he built the agency, the cash cow, and then he just bought things around it. So I don't exactly know how people are doing it. Like one offshoot of it is like the whole guys and girls from Work Week, right? They're kind of partnering with creators, but they don't own the distribution, right? They control the distribution. They don't actually own it. I would
Mhm.
want to own it as well. I don't know. I think some of the stuff that you've talked about before with some of the things that you're doing on Instagram around like having the agency that's helping kind of grow your following, very similar to how I'm doing it on LinkedIn with other people, doing that same type of thing, but like on a really large scale. Like I think some of these big pages on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I think the reason that I would want to fund is because like to buy the right accounts, like you're talking 6, 7 figures per asset if you're buying the right things, right? Maybe potentially even 8 figures. I don't know that I would pay 8 figures for like an Instagram page per se, but I probably would pay 6 or 7 figures for like the right asset on some of these socials. I don't know. I think that would be really cool and really interesting just to like control the online realm and be able to funnel those people towards anything would be amazing. We're doing it on a small scale and it's amazing. Imagine if we could add zeros behind all the shit we're doing. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
That was actually funny story. I don't know if you know this, but that was like the original money Twitter. Did you know that?
What was it like buying retweets and reposts and owning
Well,
the big accounts?
no, like theme page owners were the original money Twitter. So
Interesting.
Joel Padron from
Okay.
Homestead, who used to be at CrossNet, who you know, um, Dan Snow, um, Bolus, and a couple of the other guys. David Lee Orr, I'm pretty sure was one of those guys. You know who
Even
that is?
Greg Mead was been doing stuff on Twitter, like buying and selling engagement for like 10 years. He said,
That's that actually makes sense. It's probably how we found Joel. But dude, like back in the day, like money Twitter was made up of these people that had like these Twitter theme pages that were just all. It wasn't like business related at all. It was all pop culture,
interesting.
and they would just tweet. They would tweet random like little memes, like just like dopey memes that we would look at now and be like, those are dated. Those aren't even funny. But like back in the day, they would just crush like thousands and thousands of retweets and favorites and just impressions before they even had like
Wow.
met impressions on there. And I remember like um I remember Joel telling me a little bit about it. And like one time, so like there was like a group of probably like, I don't know, couple dozen theme page owners that across everything would get billions of impressions. Like they just own the internet. They own Twitter. And one time
Insane.
all together created a rumor that Justin Bieber died on a jet ski. Do you remember that? Back in like 2015 or something when everyone thought Justin Bieber died on a jet ski?
No, I don't remember. They made that up.
Completely made up, and it got picked up by like New York, like or not New York Times, but like publications were like printing this because they thought it was real. Like they had no confirmation. It was just all blowing up on Twitter, and they were just trying to get something out because they were like, "Oh my, this might be real. Like everyone's tweeting this. It has to be real."
No way. And then it hit trending, and then it probably created this snowball, right, where they just kept trending.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that was all like the original Money Twitter guys. Like that's these are the guys that have been around since like 2016. Like 2019 is like kind of when I got on. I think that's probably when you got on too. But like 2016, probably maybe a little bit earlier, was like that was money Twitter, bro. It was all these guys that were just like not sharing anything. They were just gatekeeping all this information. But like theme pages on Twitter was like how a lot of these guys made their first like couple hundred grand or couple million online.
Dude,
It's kind of
it's so interesting. And like there's like all these forums like Black Hat World or Black Hat Forum. And then now there's all of like these Telegram groups. Like I actually went down like this rabbit hole a couple weeks and a couple months ago when I was trying to figure out what I could buy on the internet. Obviously not on the huge scale, right? I was trying to buy things for 4, 5, 6 figures, not 7 or 8 figures. And I got connected into like these groups and like essentially this all blew my mind. Like I don't really use Telegram all that much, but there's like these Telegram groups, and basically there's this big main group where you have to be invited to join, and then to get into the next smaller group, you need 3 vouchers. So basically, you have to introduce yourself saying, "I'm Chase Diamond. I do X, Y, and Z. So and so invited me here, right?" And then that person will jump in saying, "I vouch for Chase. I know him in person," or "I'm one of Chase's clients. Met him online. Vouch." So you have to get 3 vouchers, and then you get invited to this other group that's a lot smaller. And then in that group, right, like if you get kind of credibility and street cred, you get invited to this last group that's almost like this little mini group of like 500 or 700 people. And every day, people are buying and selling ads on social. They're buying and selling Instagram growth or Twitter growth or whatever, NFT growth. Like there's all this stuff I see every day of people buying this or buying that. And some of the guys in there, do they own 30 million followers on Instagram, right? And they're showing some of the things that they're getting on the explore page, and they're getting like 1 million views in the first like 24 hours, and then it carries on like 5 million views in the first 2 days. And just like I'm like finding like this underground kind of underbelly of all this stuff that I never knew about before, and it's really fascinating to see. It's pretty crazy. And a lot of these guys though, Not talking about the guys you mentioned, but a lot of these guys that have these big pages, they don't know how to monetize. Like they're charging $250, $1,000 a post in an ad, where it's like, dude, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it way wrong. But they're
Bro,
happy and they need a
yeah.
lot of volume.
You know what's crazy? I just bought a bunch of so my Christmas gift to my mom was I was gonna give her shout outs on like some theme pages, for like, the fitness page. Like for anyone who doesn't know, my mom has like this fitness business. And I was going through and buying shout outs. Well, I wasn't doing it. Abby was doing it, my EA. And she was going through and like there were pages with like 300,000 followers or 400,000 followers that would get like a couple thousand likes per post, like decent engagement. And
Yeah.
they were charging like $15 for a reel. I was like, what? Like, yeah, I ended up buying a package for like 350 or something like that. So like undercharging. Like they yeah, no idea how to monetize properly. And it's hilarious because it's like you guys could be like people don't understand what impressions cost and what they're worth to certain businesses.
Yes.
Like for me to get like for me to if I got a million impressions on like a hard like call to action like direct response like ad kind of thing like content type ad that would make me
Tens of thousands.
yeah like between like 50 and $150,000.
Yeah.
That's
Insane.
and that's just off cold. You know what I mean? And so like if you can just pull a million impressions out of the air, like that's worth money. I don't want to pay 50,000. Like I don't want to break it. You
Yeah.
know, like keep charging $500 if that's what you want to do. But like, yeah, people don't get it. People don't get how cheap this stuff is. Like anyone could just go and buy shoutouts and like for
It's
$500, like get
it's
millions.
crazy. Yeah, bro, this world is like mind blowing to me, right? And obviously, like I'm doing a version of it on LinkedIn to some degree, but just seeing how it's done on other platforms and how they all interact in these groups. And what I've noticed too is there's a lot of scammers out there. When I was in this big group before I got into like these smaller, more groups where there's a lot more trust, and I'd post saying, "Hey, I'm trying to buy an account on Instagram or Facebook with 50,000 followers." I would get DMs, and bro, people would be scamming. Like they'd be like, "All right, I'll sell you my account. My account has 2 million people. I'll sell it to you for $5,000." And I was like, whoa, really? This is so cool. And then I dove into it. I'm like, DM me from the profile. And then they all have these excuses of like, oh, I don't want to DM you. It's too sketch. You might go turn it against me. So I just have learned all these things. And then each of the person that's like legitimate has like this channel on Telegram for vouchers. They'll post screenshots and kind of transactions that they've done in the past. So you have to like look at vouchers and you have to ask for referrals and you have to use like middlemen that will actually like hold the money, wait until you receive the asset, and then they'll deliver the money. But like I've probably encountered like half a dozen to a dozen spammers that like I almost sent money to, and the money would have been gone forever, right? Like these guys want crypto and certain things. It's very scary. So for some of these pages, like I've been looking at doing it. Some seem too good to be true, and then some seem legitimate. And the sad thing is, like you don't know until you know. It's like they have the money in your hand. They post, "Are these bots? Is this real?" So
Yeah,
it's just wild. It's really cool though. It's really interesting.
bro, it's such like the dark web. That's just what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like, um, what was it? Oh yeah, there was this dude that I knew who like apparently was like kind of in my circle ish in Miami. And bro, this guy's a complete scammer. Like he would say like he can get you verified and you pay him like 15 grand and like nothing ever happens. And then
Jeez.
and then like he would just be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, like it's being worked on. Like this takes a long time. Like you gotta be patient." And it's like,
Just
luckily,
buying time.
yeah. And I was and like and everyone like because I remember I got a DM from him one time and I was like, "Should I like get verified?" And everyone's like, "No, that dude is a scammer. He will scam you." I'm like, "Why does everyone follow him?" That is super weird. But yeah, dude, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's still the Wild West. Like you'd think that there would be like more of like a certified marketplace for stuff like that because it's such a big thing. Like, dude, like social media content impressions online, like that's a huge fuck. Like, why is there no like Flippa, or is there? Is there like a Flippa?
There is a couple, but man, like going through that, like the people that are actively trying to sell their accounts and trying to market it, you got to be careful about those, right? It's like the person that's so trying to put, I'm trying to sell this account in your face. There's typically a reason, right? Like if it's a good account and you know how to monetize, there's probably no reason you'd sell unless you get a crazy multiple. So either A, people are scamming, and or B, they have a good asset, they're legit, they just don't know how to monetize. And it's really hard to know like who's legitimate versus who isn't. And the thesis around this really, like I initially tried finding, I wanted to buy like LinkedIn pages that were like legitimate, but no one does stuff on LinkedIn on all these circles. It's really Instagram heavy and then kind of Twitter heavy. Some of it's a little bit TikTok, a little bit Facebook pages, a little bit YouTube, but no one's doing anything on LinkedIn, which is really interesting to me. Like, it's a huge opportunity. I wanted to buy legitimate accounts there and kind of fast track some of the growth, but I realized I'm just going to have to keep building. And dude, on that note, right before we hopped on, I got a text from the girl that runs kind of my LinkedIn business. She didn't do an update in December, so she gave me an update for December and January. We grew the network by 100,000 followers. So it's between my account and then our 6 pages. We grew the network by 100,000 followers in the 2 months. So about 50,000 per month on average. And our whole network now on LinkedIn is 653,000, which is really, really rare and really cool. So I'm super proud and pumped.
Holy shit, you're joking, bro. That's crazy. Like
Stoked.
100,000, like 50,000 a month is something crazy, bro. Like that is really cool.
It's insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
LinkedIn is so powerful. Every day, every week is so different. Every month is so different. But it is sponsored post for a company today. It was done about 6 hours ago. The last time I checked, it had over 100,000 impressions. Like, I think it's going to run up to maybe like 125 or 150,000. So they're getting a really nice CPM. Let's see. Yeah, dude, it's at 110,000 impressions, and it was posted 6 hours ago. So LinkedIn's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
every day, every week, every month, slowly figuring it out, and it's really fun.
That's awesome, man. I love that. The last question I had was going to be about LinkedIn, but I feel like we kind of already touched on it. So instead, I have a new question.
Yeah,
The
I'll
question
I'll
is,
give you a quick update though. LinkedIn
okay,
has been insane. And by the way, I feel like we talk about LinkedIn a little bit on here. I talk about LinkedIn on social. I run some ads behind it. I don't think anyone actually knows what it really is until they DM me. So I'm gonna kind of just break it down in like 60 seconds. So essentially, on LinkedIn, to go viral and to have good content and get impressions, you need 2 things, right? Number one is you need good content. There is no substitute for good content, and you need the content in the right format. Right now on LinkedIn, image plus text is crushing it, right? So every single thing I typically post has some kind of image. The more visual, the better. So things like infographics, charts, tables, graphs, etc., do really, really well. Video and GIFs haven't done super, super well for me. So I typically do a static photo plus some kind of text. That crushes it. So content has to be good. You need to typically post once, maybe twice a day. I post 7 days a week. You can get away posting maybe 5 days a week, right? Maybe Monday through Friday. And then the other part of the equation, like anything else, is distribution. And that's what we provide. We provide distribution on your content. We help amplify and boost basically the content that you're creating to get it in front of the audiences that we control. The 650,000 people that are CEOs, founders, executives, marketers, freelancers, copywriters, those are the people that when we engage with your content, they're going to see your post. And if it is a good post, they're going to engage, which then kind of creates that ripple effect throughout the algorithm. So, dude, we had a record month of January. I think we signed north of 40 clients. We signed like 40, 45 clients. We had a handful of people that paused for December for the holidays that kind of activated this month. So, about 25 to 40% of the people that paused in December. So, it was like 10 people paused in December for the holidays. About 3 or 4 of them have come back so far. And then the other couple are coming back next month. So I was really happy not only to see a ton of new people join, but a lot of people that had paused temporarily, I was worried about whether they were coming back or not, are coming back. So that's kind of the overview. Record month. I think we're north of 200 clients right now on LinkedIn that are actually active. All time, I think we're at like 240, 245, with about 205 to 208 of them still active today, and a handful more coming back. So that's the quick LinkedIn update. It's been amazing.
that's crazy.
It's been
Let's
sick.
go,
You
man.
motivated me, dude. I was just coasting, chilling. And then I was thinking about plans for 2024. I'm like, what do I want to focus on? What's working? What do I really enjoy? And it was LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn personally. I'm spending so much time there. I want to see people in the circle around me crush it. So since we've had that conversation, I think the business has doubled. Like, we're going to probably be a 6-figure MRR probably in the next 3 to 6 months. Like, we're cruising. We added 20 something thousand of MRR in January alone, and it's been really sticky, which has been sick.
Chase. Oh man. Let's
I'm
go.
stoked.
Hey, you know what's next? And I was gonna say this. You need some sort of high ticket, bro. You need like small group coaching, like pretty high ticket, enough like 3 to 5K where like people are feeling it and they're motivated. Like some sort of content mastermind thing that you can like get like not just content, like how to make content, but also how to grow and
Yep.
like maybe just like some sort of other features where it's like, someone pays like you run a cohort where it's like maybe you want to like build it now. When does Q2 start? April?
Yes.
Maybe you want to do like quarterly masterminds where it's like you sell 10 spots and each spot is like 4 or 5K. And it's just like you get on calls with people, review their content, stuff like that. I know you hate getting on calls, but just like
Yeah, I
something like
hate
that.
calls.
I know you do, but I know you do. But there's money here. And then like I don't know, there could just be some sort of like other tier where it's like these people want more from you, bro. Like this is not expensive at all. Like your service is really good, and it's like $500 less than that, right? It's like
Yes,
497.
$497 a month, which is great because I don't want to take sales calls. I don't want to have too many conversations. It's the
Bro, I'll
perfect
take
price right
sales.
now.
I'll take your calls.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
cool. You're hired on the spot. You heard it here first. Sign up for the cohort, launch in Q2. Mason's taking the calls.
Yeah, we got it. I will actually get you a closer if you want to do that. But like,
Cool.
dude, just build something. Just spin it up. Just see if people want it. Doesn't it
Yeah,
literally costs you nothing? Like, just see, and then launch it Q2 and just do it like every quarter, and then maybe you can do some sort of like you got to own the space, bro. You know where the real money is? In person meetups. That's how Grant Cardone makes all of his money. He does like 30 million a year off like just like 10x
yeah. Grant
conference.
Cardone, Tony Robbins, they all. I mean, because you could charge an arm and a leg, right? You could charge 2,500, $5,000, 10,000 for an in-person event. You really can. So, you do enough of those. You have the right people in the room. You sell continuation. You're absolutely right. So, I think at some point this year it's coming. Right now, one of the things I'm actually working on is like this email course, like this educational email course on LinkedIn. So it's not an email course, but it's delivered via email on LinkedIn. And it's going to be like a 5-day program where essentially we're sending you 5 days of content and then we're going to sell for 3 days. I've got an agency working on it with me. I told you that before. I was like a service that kept popping up. After the last call, I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. And I actually negotiated it where I don't pay a single cent. I think they charge $5,000. They're doing it for free for me for a testimonial. And then I'll pay them like a small percentage of revenue that's close through it. So it's really interesting. I'm going to just funnel a ton of people to that, have some of the education there, potentially build out like a video course. I'm trying to pick like the 2 or 3 things I want to focus on. I think the high ticket LinkedIn thing is probably up there in the contention for one of the things I want to do. So sick.
Yeah, let's go. All right, man. Well, this was a banger episode, and I love Riverside. Not sponsored.
This was great, brother.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, please accept my application into being a United States resident, please.
Yeah,
Joe,
he's worthy. We need you. All right, much love, brother. Can't wait to celebrate you becoming a resident soon.
yes, sir.
Cheers,
God,
man. Bye.
see ya.